Shazam! So Shazam is the story of Billy Batson, who gets estranged from his mother at a really young age. He becomes a foster child and runs away from his various homes throughout his teenage years in an effort to find his mom and family. But in his most recent setting, he meets his friend, Freddie Freeman, who is a superhero fanatic. He loves Batman and Superman. After school one day, Billy's riding the subway. He ends up getting transported into this new realm. He greets a stranger who deems him worthy to inherit his powers, and then bam, he becomes Shazam, who's played by Zachary Levi. Now, Billy, in this new transformed Shazam body, him and Fred have to navigate this situation as Billy becomes Shazam, and then from there on, we've got our movie. My overall thoughts on this movie is extremely unique, really whimsical, and has tons of heart. It does a great job of playing off of this idea of what would happen if a kid got superpowers and how they might navigate that situation. And that in and of itself is fun and unique. It appeals to a really wide audience that might not just like only superheroes. Not only that, but explores these very human and adolescent ideas such as jealousy, what happens when you get famous quickly, finding family in circumstances that are just constantly changing, and just growth in adolescence. Starting out with what I loved about this movie. I loved how it touched upon this concept of family and how it can mean different things to different people. For some people, it's the blood relatives you have. For others, it's the close bonds that you form with friends. Sometimes it's a spouse. Sometimes it's anything else. And in this particular movie, it explores this idea through his foster family's eyes, and it adds this touch to the movie that makes it genuine, authentic, and wholesome. This entire foster family in this movie is diverse, relatable, loving, and the foster parents in this movie do a really great job of portraying the love that they have for these children, how close of a bond that they can form between each other. It's really kind of hammered home for me personally when the father says this line that kind of reminds me of this line from Joe Dirt.
Now, home away, mate.
What else did I like about this movie? This movie is a DC superhero movie that leans into that universe, but strikes this perfect balance between that and also appealing to a wider audience who might not like superheroes. Meaning, you could go into this movie having never heard of Shazam, not liking superheroes at all, and still really enjoy it. The movie is lighthearted and innocent in that respect, but it still has mature enough themes that come with these superhero movies that make it appealing for both adults and kids. And that's especially true if you're in the situation of you're an older sibling, you're an older adult in the family who loves superhero movies. Maybe you want to introduce a younger cousin, family member into superheroes, and you want them to have a good time too. Take them to this movie because both of you are in for a good time. Or I should say watch it on streaming because it came out several years ago. Also, this movie is really unique in its premise and executes it to perfection. It was a lot of fun to watch Billy Batson become Shazam and then have him and Freddie subsequently navigate that situation. And navigating what it would be like for a 14-year-old to get superpowers just all of a sudden one day is something that's never really been explored in the movies I've seen. And it was super unique and just something different. And even better, it leads into some of the great themes that I talked about earlier on. The things that they explore together are so fun. For example, what are his powers? How do they work? How can they use those powers to their advantage? They get really creative and whimsical with it, and it makes it a lot of fun to unfold. And in doing this, issues come up between them that is totally normal for teenagers to go through, and I thought that was a really nice touch to the movie because it adds to that DNA of adolescence and growing up in high school, because a lot of it happens, but it does so through the unique lens of their situation. Now, having said that, what are some of the things I didn't enjoy? I'm just going to give this movie a little nitpick. There is one thing in particular that happens that really compromised my suspension of disbelief, and it just really stuck out like a sore thumb for me. It doesn't compromise my overall enjoyment of the movie, and also I didn't enjoy the villain in this movie, which is Dr. Savannah, played by Mark Strong. And it's not that Mark Strong had a poor performance at all. I just didn't like the way that they wrote this character. His motivation was pretty hollow. It's something that we've all seen before in superhero movies, not interesting or compelling. A lot of this movie centers around Billy and Freddie navigating this whole situation with Shazam that it kind of feels like Dr. Savannah's the villain was left in the background. However, there is a scene or two in this movie that gave me, for lack of a better term, I'll call oh shit vibes, because it was really, really intimidating. But other than that, there just wasn't a lot to love about Dr. Savannah. So my friends, if I had to give this a score, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It is a good movie. It's a good origin story that has a lot of innocence, art, and fun that sticks to the mantra that they're going for throughout this movie. Give it a watch. It's on HBO Max right now, or it's probably on a couple of other platforms if you're interested. Friends, thanks so much for watching another Bankrupt Hippo movie review. Like, comment, subscribe, or check out any of these other great playlists to get in on the fun. Once again, I've been Bryce. Until next time, have a great day.